Well, welcome everybody. I want to just thank you all. I know you have valuable time and I know you'd rather be spending it somewhere else perhaps, but I'm hoping if you decided to come here, however it was, whatever the invitation was, whether it was under duress or voluntarily, I want the next 35 to 40 minutes that we spend together to be well worth your time. And we're going to be talking about true science, liquid collagen, and joint health because it's very significant. Collagen, just generally speaking, plays a major role in not only your joints, but every single thing that happens in your body. But your joints are necessary for you to remain upright and for you to be who you are. So let's get into the topic. But first, let's talk about the star of the show. It is our brand new, look at that amazing, sexy bottle, LifeVantage Liquid Collagen. And the marketing team did an incredible job in profiling this wonderful product with all of their photos and the images that they shared with us. But this is the star of the hour, and I really want to make sure that we do justice by it. So first of all, why collagen? Why are we so excited about this product? Why has it become in just a month our second leading product in all of our product repertoire? Because it's powerful. Because collagen by itself, it's a structural protein. Think of that, structural protein, meaning it makes you. It makes up about 25 to 35% of all the protein you have in your body. The body produces collagen proteins from the amino acids in your food. So when you eat good, nutritious food, you're going to be getting good, nutritious building blocks, or these amino acids of the collagen that your body's going to produce. However, check this out. This process starts to not just decline, but steeply decline around the age of 30. So that's your benchmark, 30. So if you are not quite yet 30, or you are 30, or you're north of 30, just pay attention to that benchmark, because at the age of 30, your collagen in your body starts to steeply decline. And that leads to things like a large reduction in collagen density, which can lead to joint problems and affect the quality of your life. That's why collagen. But you may notice it says liquid collagen. Why liquid? Well, large collagen protein pieces are hard to digest. And so when it's put in a liquid form, they're much smaller and they are what is called more bioavailable. They need to be broken down by the enzymes in your body. And True Science Liquid Collagen uses hydrolyzed collagen. It's chopped up into smaller pieces so your body doesn't have to break them down. So it's kind of like it's already begun the breaking down process when you consume this amazing product. There's a lot of thought and science that goes into that. So this makes it easier to absorb and utilize, and hydrolyzed collagen pieces are highly water soluble. You are mostly water. So when it's water soluble, it mostly absorbs into your body the way it should. And regular collagen is not that way. So the most efficient form of collagen is in a liquid. This is called high bioavailability. So there you go. Thank you, marketing department, for that wonderful description. So let's now get into the topic at hand. And of course, sometimes there are technological challenges. So as I'm talking to you, I've got this nice little hourglass that's spinning as it's trying to advance my slides. So let's just go back one slide and talk about FYI. So for all of your information, collagen, as I said, this is kind of redundant, the most prevalent protein in the body, which means it is noteworthy, which means we should be talking about it. So let's kind of have a breakdown. Let's talk first about type 1 collagen, because it's the most prevalent of the types of collagen in your body. In fact, it makes up nearly 90% of all the collagen that you have in your body is type 1, and type 1 plays a major role in many joints of the body, including, let's say, your TMJ disc. That stands for temporomandibular joint, and it moves a lot when you do things like I'm doing, talking. So for those of you who are talkers, this is a disc that is under stress, and it is made of type 1 collagen. So be grateful that you're drinking True Science Liquid Collagen if you're a talker. Or how about your intervertebral discs? That is what my former specialty used to be. In fact, I'm going to show a picture of it here. This right here is the nucleus, that little spongy part. 65% proteoglycans, 20% collagen, and the outer rings called the annulus, they are 60% collagen and 20%. Unbelievable, unbelievable. proteoglycans. So now the cartilage in your ear. So hopefully the ear that you're using to listen to me right now has good type 1 collagen because that's what it's meant for. And then lastly, the meniscus, which is part of the collagen in your knee. So when we're talking about structure, your skeletal system, the thing that makes you upright, it is very, very much influenced heavily by type 1 collagen. So now let's talk about the connective tissue. The connective tissue in your body, and I love the way Dr. Brett Brimhall talks about connective tissue, specifically collagen. It's the glue that holds everything together. So you have that skeletal system that I just showed you. Well, this is type 1 collagen that holds everything to the skeletal system that I just talked about. Things like your cornea, hopefully you're using yours right now as you're watching the Zoom, but it's also in your muscles, it's in your skin, your tendons and your ligaments, it's in your heart, your cardiovascular system, your heart valves, the blood vessels that carry that precious blood throughout your body, the adipose tissue. Now that's probably the least favorite because adipose tissue is the fat tissue that we have, but it is there nonetheless. And it's made of type 1 collagen primarily and your bones. So type 1 collagen is really what makes you you. If you take away all the type 1 collagen in your body like that, you'd probably just look like a puddle of nothingness on the ground and people wouldn't recognize you. So the fact they recognize you and they call you by name means you've got type 1 collagen in all of these things that make you you. So question, so collagen plays a role in my neck joints? Yes, absolutely plays a role in your neck joints. So what about your ankle joints? What about you athletes that have ankle joints that are constantly yelling at you because you're abusing them? Is there collagen in your ankle joints? The answer is yes, there too. Well, so there's collagen in my knee joints then? Yes, there is. Now, and my shoulder joints too? You got collagen there too. So how about your jaw? I already told you, again, another bit of redundancy. Repetition is important. So how about your jaw joints? Yes, there is collagen in your jaw joints too. Well, how about, can collagen help the pain in my butt? Well, it really depends on the cause. If it is your spouse, probably not. But if it is caused by the muscles or the ligaments or the tendons around that hip joint that are giving you the pain in the butt, I would say affirmative. It is a strong yes. So now let's talk about an analogy. I want to really give you the ability to understand at the bare bones level, why are we even having this discussion? And if you are a parent and you've ever read the 3 Little Pigs story to your kids, drop a 1 in the chat. Or if you're a parent and you've never read the 3 Little Pigs story to your kids yet, get the book and do it. But if you've had someone read it to you, or if you are familiar with the 3 Little Pigs story, put a 1 in the chat. Because it's about 3 little pigs and they build 3 different houses. And as you look, they're very similar in size and dimension and proportion. But the one on the left is made out of straw and mud. The one in the middle is made out of wood, and the one on the right is made out of bricks. What's the difference? They're all homes. They're all residences. They're all place we live. And why are we talking about 3 little pigs and 3 different houses? Because I want to share with you that you are living in the house that you are building, and you are using raw materials, just as these pigs did here. So for you, let's talk about what raw material is the first pig. Or when you're talking about somebody living that kind of a lifestyle, but in their body, fast foods, packaged and processed foods, sweets and heavy carbs, or they're under a lot of stress and they live basically a sedentary lifestyle. That's like building a house made out of straw and mud, but it's the house you're living in, not the pig. Well, how about the second example? This is somebody who's eating nutritious food. They're probably even making some homemade food or prepared meals at home, regular exercise. They're taking their supplements like good boys and girls. They're getting good rest, but they're being reactive. What does that mean? They're waiting for something to happen before they consult their doctor. They're waiting for something to happen before they go to Dr. Google and try to figure out what is the pain in their neck? What is the source? Where is it coming from? They're reactive in nature. They're doing some proactive things, but they're not living a proactive lifestyle. Contrast that by the third example. Analogous to the pig who made a house of brick. You are eating whole organic foods. Homemade foods, preferably single ingredient homemade foods, you're regularly exercising, you're taking your supplements, you're also getting good rest, but you're proactive. You are proactive in the greatest way you can be, and that is being activated. You're taking supplements, but you're also activating your body so that you are staying ahead of the degenerative process and you are holding the doctors off. You've heard the age-old story, a doctor a day keeps the an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Being activated, you can eat an apple if you'd like to while you're trying to say the word activated, but if you are activated, you are also keeping the doctor away and you're keeping the house that you live in as healthy as possible. Now, why does any of this matter? Why am I using this story? Because it's what happens when stress and challenges come that matters most. The pigs didn't care what kind of house they were living in until the big bad wolf showed up and blew the first two down. What happens when you have stress in your life? Because it comes. Life's on us, every single one of us. None of us are exempt from it. It's just a matter of when, how often, and how well you are prepared when it happens. So the big bad wolf not showing up, it didn't matter. But when he did, it was very obvious what the raw materials of these homes was or was not made of. So when challenges come your way, you want to be living in the equivalent of the brick house from the pig with that kind of a lifestyle that you see with the bullet points underneath. So hopefully you guys can now understand this methodology. Now, if you got the lesson, you may now be thinking about time. You may even be feeling self-conscious or somewhat remorseful of some of the choices that you've made thus far, like what you had for lunch and dinner today before you got on this Zoom session. Well, I just want to share with you, whatever happened in the past, leave it there. Don't beat yourself up. Even if you are having the residual taste from the dinner you just had that wasn't necessarily so nutritious. Let's leave what's in the past and focus on numbers 2 and number 3. What is happening now? What is happening now? So if you are okay with leaving the past in the past, do me a favor and drop a 2 in the chat, because it's what you're doing now that is most important, because what you're doing now is what is going to determine what kind of a home you live in the future when the challenges come. If you are ready to make some changes and start building a brick house where maybe you were building one of straw and mud or wood before, drop a 3 in the chat. You are ready to show up, you're ready to get activated, and you are ready to crack a bottle of one of these things and take it down every single day, the LifeVantage Liquid Collagen. I want to see those 3s in the chat. All right, so when you are armed with information, you can help more people. So please allow me to arm you. So I want you to say, activate, replenish, maintain. So as in the acronym, ARM, activate, replenish, maintain. Now, why am I singling this out? Why am I asking you to say activate, replenish, and maintain? Drop a 4 in the chat if you're saying that with me. So here's the deal, because is there other collagen sources out there? Many of you who are probably sharing your before and after pictures and your great story and this wonderful product are hearing from other people saying, well, wait a second. I saw that lady who used to be on Friends, and I'm not going to mention her name, but she's a celebrity who uses collagen, powdered collagen in her coffee, and people say she's aging very gracefully. Well, maybe she is. That's awesome. Good for her. But she is using the R in the ARM. She is replenishing. So that collagen that she's adding to her coffee, and is there lots of great collagen products out there? Yes, they all have R. In other words, if there was no replenishing of collagen, they wouldn't call it collagen. They wouldn't have a product to sell. But they're not necessarily activating, and they're definitely not maintaining. So this is the power in this word, which is why I didn't just R you, I'm arming you. Activate, replenish, and maintain. So say it with me. Activate, replenish, maintain. Again, drop a 4 in the chat if you just said it with me. If you haven't said it with me, here's a chance to redeem yourself. Say it with me. Activate, replenish, maintain, because this is what separates our collagen from every other collagen out there. Now, let me explain to you what they mean. Activate means activate your body's natural production of collagen, which you remember starts to steeply decline when we hit 30. So if you are 31 and north of that, yours is already steeply declining, and replenishing is good, but activating while you replenish is better. And we're talking about best when you can activate it, replenish it, and maintain. So activate is activating your body's natural production of collagen. Replenishing is drinking what's in that sexy bottle there, and maintaining is what allows your body to maintain this collagen and the collagen that you are activating for a longer period of time. There, you are now armed with information, and I hope you appreciate it and understand it. So looking at these mannequin arms, I'm just throw a little comedy in here, keep it light, because you're now armed, and I don't ever want you to understand forget the significance of activating, replenishing, and maintaining, because no other collagen out there, the people that you're talking to are taking, is doing these three things. So let's now get into a little deeper discussion about this subject, about liquid collagen, about collagen in general. And let's start talking about why you should care, number one, but why you should care even more, because we're talking about your body. We're talking about your future. We're talking about your legacy. We're talking about your influence. We are talking about your ability to influence other people. And when you have the ability to capture an image, which is your story, you have the ability to capture a before image, a during image, and a through the process of at least 30 days, and give people the ability to do the same thing, you start to see the significance of the outward appearance, but what's happening on the inside, because we're not really looking at each other's joints. Joints are on the inside, but if we're seeing such wonderful results on the outside, imagine what's happening in there. So good joint health means flexibility, mobility, movement, your ability to actually move around and navigate the world. These things kind of suck when you lose the ability to have them. So good joint health is important, but bad joint health, what happens with that? Bad joint health means tension, immobility, pain, and maybe more. We do not want you to experience the maybe more. So again, if you are north of 30 and your collagen is steeply declining, pay close attention to the next part I'm going to share with you, because bad joint health can lead to things like this. See those uncomfortable space? Just that even looks uncomfortable, and that's a graphic, but it can lead to things like hip surgery. Hip surgery is a very invasive surgery. It is very painful to go through. The rehab is long and arduous, but it is something that people choose because it's not as bad as the pain they are suffering from when they lose the collagen and the joint health in their hip joints, because when you're walking, you're using this joint. So hip surgeries can result with bad joint health. But what about knee replacement surgery? Same thing. Big joint causes big movement, but when it's big, painful, you don't really want to go anywhere. But bad joint health can lead to knee replacement surgery, because hip joints and knee joints, as you see, have collagen in them, or they started out that way. Once you hit your 30s and it's starting to steeply decline, what are you doing about it? So not just knee replacement surgery either. Something that I saw, unfortunately, way too often was lower back surgery. And a lot of times it came in after the fact, but I also had a feather in my cap, which I'm not wearing a cap, but if I did, I'd put a feather in it, caused people to educate them and empower them, as Jesse said in my description, to help people understand where their health comes from and prevent some of these unnecessary low back surgeries, because showing people how to avoid the things that cause the pain in the first place, and posture is a big thing. But lower back surgery is a big surgery, as are the knee replacement and hip replacement. So one of the things about this is we are living in a day and age where it is very prestigious to be a surgeon. And it is very prestigious to be a surgeon in America, because in the United States, we have the most advanced teaching hospitals, the most advanced universities, the greatest researchers out there, the greatest doctors out there. In fact, we are so technologically and medically advanced. We have doctors that are doing surgery with microscopes led by, get this, robots. That's awesome. Well, maybe you're looking forward to this type of surgery, and that's fantastic. But because we are living in a very technologically advanced modern world, but how about this? Here's the reality. Whether the doctor does the surgery or the robot does the surgery, there are no erasers on scalpels. Once it's done, whether you got success or whether you didn't, whether you're pain-free or have less pain, or sometimes as it happens, you still have the same amount of pain. Surgeries are permanent. So remember that number, 30. North of 30, your collagen starts to steeply decline. It is what you are doing. Now, let's just talk about the joint. What are the key players in every joint? The bones themselves, the cartilage surfaces of the bones that rub against each other in a frictionless environment, the muscles that surround the bones, the tendons that hold the muscles to the bones, the ligaments that hold the bones to the bones, the fascia that surrounds everything, and the skin that surrounds all of that. All of those play a key role in your joint. And guess what? Every single one of them that I just mentioned has collagen in it. So please start paying attention to your collagen, especially if you're north of 30, and especially if you haven't done so thus far. I'm hoping this picture right here will give you one reason to start paying close attention to it, because every single person who opted for those surgeries, whether it was done by a robot or a breathing doctor, had massive amounts of pain before they chose to get the surgery. So how about just dealing with it, what it is at the bare minimum? Look at the raw materials that are building your house, and collagen better be one of them. So now let's just get into a little bit more practicality. So it's best to take care of what we have while we have it, and your family deserves great joint health with TrueScience Liquid Collagen. So start there. Start in your immediate household, and then start looking at the influence outward, because the person across the street from you, the neighbors on either side, the people that are the neighbors of the person across the street from you, do they know what you do? And did they know anything about liquid collagen coming from TrueScience LifeVantage's option? If the answer is no, and you're there north of 30, I'm hoping I put a little burden of responsibility to go knock on some doors with your smile and ask them take a little shot and ask them if they want to taste the most amazing, activating, replenishing, maintaining collagen out there, and see what happens. I challenge you to do it. Drop a 6 in the challenge, or in the chat box if you're up for that challenge. Go meet your neighbors and come bearing shots of liquid collagen. So activate, replenish, maintain. Are you getting it? Are you starting to see the pattern here? Are you starting to understand the significance? So I hope so. What does research say? Because you maybe have heard me talk long enough. Maybe you're not, maybe you're kind of annoyed by my bluntness. Well, I want you to be able to understand where I get this authoritative voice from. It's because I've read research. It's because I've utilized this product. It's because I've seen the results. Well, what does the research say about this? Well, how about just research in general on the topic? Collagen in joint health. Now, if you go to pubmed.gov, doctors, scientists, researchers are very familiar with this website. If you are not, if you're just somebody who science is kind of a little overwhelming or quite frankly boring, you can go here too. It's a website that is available to everyone, but this is what it is. It is the #1 resource for doctors and researchers and scientists when they go to do research. You guys may be using Google. They're using pubmed.gov. So look at the people that are using pubmed.gov. And I typed in there in the red oval, collagen in joint health. And you see right below it, it says results by year. I want you to see the graphic representation of what is known as an uptrend. Look at 1973 to 2022 in those examples. And at the bottom of the screen, if you look at in 2000, just 22 short years ago, there were only 21 studies published in the entire year of 2000 on collagen in joint health. But if you go look at last year, by comparison, 21 years later, 266 studies published on collagen in joint health last year. And if you look at just so far this year, 152, and we're not even halfway through yet. So if you can just say it's going to be over 300. That is called an uptrend. Well, why would doctors and researchers and scientists be doing research on collagen in joint health? Because they were the ones that wrote the study that said it starts to steeply decline in your 30s or when you hit 30. So here's the deal. If rather than using Dr. Google, you, like scientists and researchers do, use PubMed.gov, you would see what the trends are. And when you can be ahead of the trends rather than waiting for the pain to stimulate you to take a product, then you can understand, well, this is where research is going. More and more and more time and effort is researching collagen as it relates to joints. So perhaps you should pay attention. Well, here's a couple studies that I want to share with you specifically. This one is called Improvement of Functional Ankle Properties Following Supplementation with Specific Collagen Peptides in Athletes with Chronic Ankle Instability. And this is what it said in the body of the research paper. These data support the concept that specific collagen peptide supplementation in athletes with chronic ankle instability results in significant, not just little improvement, but significant improvements in subjective perceived ankle stability. Now, what does that mean? These people, these athletes that are taking these collagen peptides are themselves admitting that they are seeing a significant improvement in their ankle stability. Well, who would know more than the person who has the ankle that was previously unstable? That's the point. That's why this is so powerful. The reduction in the re-injury rate of ankle sprains in the follow-up period suggests that these findings have clinical relevance. Well, if it's good enough, think about the joints in your body. The one that is closest to the ground, the one that you use every single step you take, whether you put your right foot in or in your left foot out, it doesn't matter. Your ankles are the ones taking the brunt. So it's important joint to focus on. And when collagen peptides improve the stability of it and re-injury rate, it's pretty important. What else could it do for other joints in your body? Well, how about this study? This one is called The Effects of Collagen Peptide Supplementation on Body Composition, Collagen Synthesis, and Recovery from Joint Injury and Exercise, a Systematic Review. This is what it said in the abstract. Collagen peptide supplementation, in parentheses, COL for collagen, in conjunction with exercise may be beneficial for the management of degenerative bone and joint disorders. This is likely due to stimulatory effects of collagen and exercise on the extracurricular or extracellular matrix of connective tissue. Remember, type 1 collagen is the predominant collagen in your connective tissues, improving structure and load-bearing capabilities. The results indicate that collagen is most beneficial in improving joint functionality and reducing joint pain. Remember, joint pain is why people opt for surgery. So if we can improve functionality and decrease joint pain by taking some collagen peptides, why wouldn't we? Certain improvements in body composition, strength, and muscle recovery were present. This is right from the doctors and researchers. This was from the journal Amino Acids from October of last year. Pretty powerful. So let's just say that this is kind of a summary of some other articles. Your joints need collagen for healthy cartilage. Collagen plays a very significant role in your joints' ability to move. While some kinds of collagen appear in your skin, bones, and organs, type 2 collagen is present in your cartilage. The cartilage is the frictionless surfaces in all of your joints, which allows them to move. Cartilage stretches over the end of your bones and covers your joints. It's the cartilage that keeps joints sliding, bending, and moving smoothly. Collagen helps cartilage and your joints stay flexible and absorb shocks. However, as you age, remember, steeply declining at 30, collagen gets depleted. Years of joints rubbing together breaks down cartilage, leading to aches and pains. Unfortunately, aging leads to collagen loss over time. When your collagen becomes depleted, your joints suffer. Low collagen levels lead to looser cartilage and tendons, which can make injuries more likely. Now, let me just share with you, the people who wrote this article were very ignorant of True Science liquid collagen and what it could do, reflective in their word choice. So how about this one? Replacing lost collagen can calm joint stiffness and pain. We just saw the results of that in the 2 research studies. Without the right amount of collagen, your cartilage can become compromised and joint conditions become an increasing risk. In fact, research shows that aging-related loss of collagen, what's the number? It steeply declines, can lead to a higher risk of degenerative joint disorders. Drop a 7 in the chat if you remembered it was the number 30. Drop a 7 in the chat if you knew it was number 30. Give me a thumbs up there. But adding collagen back into your body through your diet and with the help of supplements could counteract that risk. It might even help you soothe any joint pain you're already experiencing. Are you getting the picture yet? Now, we can't make any claims. Everybody's different because some people wait and wait and wait and wait, thinking they're in a brick house, but they've been building a straw and mud house the entire time, but they didn't realize it until the big bad wolf shows up. and then they wonder what happened. Again, it's being proactive. It's being activated. And I'm going to close tonight with a single point that is very important when it comes to the research that I've been sharing with you so far. So let's just now talk about you. Let's take a personal inventory. I want everybody to sit, close your, if you're sitting or standing, not if you're driving, don't close your eyes if you're driving, but I want you to just close your eyes and take a personal inventory. Is anything in your body, is any joint in your body letting you know it's there? It's like, hey, McFly, I'm here. Whether it's your joints in your neck, your elbow, your hip, your knee, whatever it is, are any joints in your body right now letting you know they're there? That's where I want you to really pay attention to that, because that's going to be your starting point, not necessarily from a treating perspective. Let me go back one. Sorry about that. Not from a treating perspective, but from an awareness perspective. When you are aware that your joints are communicating to you, the joints are aware they may be missing something, and they may be missing the results that you see here on this slide. These are the results from the 8-week trial that was done with our specific TrueScience liquid collagen. 42% increase in collagen density. When something is dense, it becomes, what is it? It becomes harder, it becomes more elastic, it becomes more pliable, it becomes more vibrant, youthful, vigorous, and healthy. Depth of crow's feet reduced by 22%. Skin roughness decreased by 10%. Blood catalase level increased by 202%. That's that circulating antioxidant enzyme that your body produces. And skin elasticity increased by 8%. These are just the results from an 8-week clinical trial. So what does it look like after 8 weeks? Or what about a year from now, 5 years from now, when you are being proactive and you're activated? Very, very important combination for you to be thinking about. So this brings me to the climax. Introducing the Healthy Glow Essential Stack, which we take our flagship product, Protandim NRF2 Synergizer, and we pair it with the TrueScience liquid collagen. Kind of remember those Reese's peanut butter commercials where the guy's walking around with a jar of peanut butter and he bumps into a guy with some chocolate. He's like, you got chocolate on my peanut butter. The guy's, no, you got peanut butter on my chocolate. Well, Reese's made a pretty good impact. But when you get NRF2 on someone's liquid collagen and someone gets their liquid collagen on your NRF2, it is way, way bigger. It will not give you cavities. It will not give you the sugar crash. And it will definitely not get you blaming other people. It will get you thanking the people who introduced you to this. So right here, this Healthy Glow Essential Stack, we have an enrollment option for it. Thank you, LifeVantage. Thank you, corporate. It includes the shareable coupon codes that you guys get for 10% off, the personalized website that you get with every enrollment package, the business management tools, and obviously 2-month supply of our daily use liquid collagen. Let's just call it liquid gold, our TrueScience liquid collagen and our Protandim NRF2 Synergizer for only $374.99. Are you freaking kidding me? No, that is what it takes. That is all it takes to, one, start your joints back on the road to recovery, starting your cells from being empowered and activated, and starting a business that you can transform people's lives with. If you use nothing but the before and after pictures, your business is going, no, you got to use the before and after pictures, but you got to open your mouth. You got to use that TMJ joint, which, remember, what kind of cartilage? Type 1 in the cartilage. Put an 8 in the chat if you remembered your TMJ joint is type 1 cartilage. Put an 8 in the chat if you remembered that for $374.99. This is amazing. Thank you, LifeVantage. So to close out tonight, here is my challenge for you. Who do you know that needs to be using our TrueScience liquid collagen that isn't yet because you haven't used your TMJ joint and shared information with them, or your thumb joint to send them a link? I want you to do this every day. Think about who do you know that needs to be using this every single day, but isn't yet because they haven't met you yet, or you haven't shared anything yet. Because here's the worst thing that could happen. If there was any names that popped into your head or any faces that popped into your head, how would you feel if someone else was the one who shared this with them, and then that person looks at you and said, you knew about this and you didn't share it with me? I thought we were friends. Awkward. You don't want that. So who do you know that needs to be using our True Science Liquid Collagen every day? Because I challenge you right now. If you are up for this challenge, drop a 7 in the chat. If you are 5 people in the next 5 days, so 1 person a day for the next 5 days. If you're up for that challenge of sharing a link, showing your before and after, share. If you don't have before and after pictures yet, share someone else's, because there's an amazing library of amazing before and afters out there. 1 person a day for the next 5 days. If you're up for that challenge, drop a 7 in the chat with a little fire emoji that says, I'm committed. And if you know someone's on and they haven't dropped a 7 with a fire next to them, ask them why. Send them a text right now. Why did I not see your 7 with a fire emoji next to it? Because it's 5 people in 5 days. Think about what could happen 5 days from now. 5 people living a higher caliber of life, having amazingness happen on everything, every cell in their body, and the collagen in their body, because it's the most prevalent protein in the body. And remember, it starts to steeply decline at the age of 30. So hit people up. Maybe they're under 30, maybe they're approaching 30 and they want to live in that brick house, but they don't know yet how. You be the bearer of good news. That's the challenge for you guys. Jesse, I'm going to turn it back over to you. I am just incredibly honored to be sharing this time with you, to be invited here. And I just thank you, everybody, for joining in. Thank you for your commitments in the chat. I'm loving watching this blow up. Thank you, everybody. 5 people in 5 days. You up for it? Put a 7 and a fire emoji in the chat. Thank you. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, LifeVantage.